I'm still waiting for the media to talk about this Tiffany Hayes situation. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for Monica McNutt. I'm waiting for Andrea Carter. I'm waiting for ESPN, period. Hey, Chinny, talk about it since you want to talk about, last year about the biggest lie in history, the monkey chant, which I was there last year. That thing was the biggest lie in history, bro. There was no monkey chant. And that's what pissed me off about ESPN. That's why I knew they were all about that agenda. When you go in person, you see the truth. When you hear the media talk about it, you're like, wow, they're really not there. So the situation with Tiffany Hayes, the cyber crap, the threats and all that, you're still not talking about it? I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for the media to talk about it. I want to hear all of them talk about it, discuss it, like discuss that fake monkey chant. Also, I'm waiting for the commissioner to do something. Commissioner, are you going to punish this player? Or are you going to run underneath the rock and be scared like you always are? Or are you going to be a coward about it? Because you haven't laid the hammer on anybody in this league. That's why they act the way they act. You haven't fined nobody. You haven't suspended nobody. Even Marina Mabry wasn't even suspended. She got a little fine. Okay? This lady is a coward. A straight, big coward. I think she's really worried about is, if I punish certain players, I'm going to be labeled racist. That's what it is. That's what it is. She's scared. Okay? And this league really needs a spanking. It really does. If this league got a good spanking, things would be straightened out. There would be no more Marina Mabry attacks like that. There wouldn't be no DJ Carrington poking eyes and pulling hair. There wouldn't be this engaging and endorsing threats of your own peer. Like, come on, dude, it's just basketball. You know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't have done this if this was Aja Wilson. It's because it's Caitlin Clark. They're mad at her because she got all the attention, the endorsements, the notoriety. They're just mad about that because they couldn't get that during their careers. This old guard is still existing. I'm telling you, paying them didn't change them at all. You would think that giving them money would give them some relief, some acknowledgement. No, they're just miserable people, guys. Miserable. Okay, you can't change miserable people, bro. It's gonna take a couple rounds of youth. That's why I think cutting the players in the draft, like waiving them and stuff, is bad for the league. You gotta get rid of the old guard, get rid of the old heads, get rid of them, wash them out. Once they're washed out, this league will be 10 times better. We'll have less of these type of this immaturity. This lady's 36 years old, going on social media and crying about after a game instead of just taking it on the chin and say, you know what, whatever, we get them next time in San Fran. Nah, I'm gonna cry about it and engage with these goons online talking about threatening Caitlin Clark. What are you gonna do, Cathy Engelbert? You're gonna sit there, huh? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because you didn't punish Indiana Fever at all. Actually, I am an Indiana Fever fan, and I thought they deserve to get punished by leading up the customers and fans on if Caitlin Clark's going to play or not. They knew she wasn't going to play. They knew. They waited till the last minute. Okay, this is nonsense, bro. This commissioner is the problem of the league. I'm still waiting, Cathy. Hey, Cathy, we're gonna do something, man. When are you gonna do something? When are you gonna do something? Stop being a punk.
Yo, you just watched Caitlin Clark cook a woman from the O logo and then walk right up to her face about it. That's the kind of footage they used to say didn't exist in women's basketball. That's the kind of moment that turns casual viewers into diehards. That is the kind of fire that makes this sport worth watching. And somehow, that moment, that on-court competition, that heat, is the very thing that started a chain of events so embarrassing, so hypocritical, and so infuriating that I could not sit on it for one more day without getting in front of this camera and saying what needs to be said. Welcome to Street Hoops. I'm Dre Fiver, and today we are cooking with the full flame on because the WNBA has just exposed itself in the most spectacular fashion possible, and I need every single one of you locked in for this one.
Cathy Engelbert, where are you? Where are you, Cathy? Nowhere to be found. You are quiet. Quiet quiet as a mouse. It done got real spooky, I know. Nightmare on Elm Street is what I'm talking about. Freddy Krueger style. It's wild. See, my problem with you is you don't protect the game. You know what I'm saying? You don't take the game serious. You don't have no integrity. You hear me? You allowing these assaults on my precious CC, but you have your favoritism when it comes to certain other players who not even the face of the league. They just hoopers. They ain't bring no awesome revenue. They ain't bring no awesome viewership. They ain't bring y'all out of the shadows to the mainstream. Now we see everything that's been going on. It's in 4K. How can we miss it? You hear me? Like I always say, even Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can see it. You hear me? It just don't make no sense. Why beat up your cash cow, the face of the league? The NBA protected Michael Jordan. They had the Jordan rule. To me, y'all have a Caitlin Clark rule. Beat her up. Don't let her be great. Keep her from achieving this status. Bro, that don't even make sense. That's backwards. The Bad Boy Pistons, they had the Jordan rule. Meaning like they was willing to do whatever to take him out. You hear me? At the end of the day. And then the commissioner stepped in and protected his cash cow. It's a reason why Michael Jordan is #1 in the world to everybody. The shoes, he was tough, but he also had enforcers on. He had to have enforcers on his team until the commissioner stepped in to protect him. Every special player has the whistle in the WNBA, so-called, except Caitlin Clark, aka my precious CC. Make it make sense. Y'all using her to make all of this money, but y'all won't allow her to play her game and be great and shatter these records. Because these records that's been in the WNBA, they ain't nothing. Man, high schoolers can shatter these records. You hear me? These players so immature and jealous. It don't even make sense. It don't matter if you're black or white, like Michael Jackson said in that song. You hear me? It don't matter. You got to protect your people by any means. By any means. Y'all getting the government involved. That was the worst thing that y'all can do. You hear me? Cece she didn't want that. She just wanted y'all to be fair and equal. Cece is a strong individual. That's the thing. She don't want this. This not what she asking for. I just had to put that out there. All people had to do was just call the game and be fair, bro. Like, people need to lead with love. Like, I don't understand. How do y'all have kids? Know what I'm saying? But how do y'all have kids and not want to protect nobody else's kids? Because if somebody did that to y'all kids, y'all be ready to set the whole world on fire. Am I right or am I wrong? I know I'm right. Y'all can't just be one-sided. Y'all think y'all can mistreat somebody else's kid and then expect for somebody else not to mistreat your kid when you don't even have a good heart? Nah, it don't work like that. You have to lead by example. Know what I'm saying? Lead by example. You have a good heart? Keep a good heart. Know what I'm saying? You can't pick and choose when you want to treat somebody like this or like that. Know what I'm saying? You treat people good all the time. We tired of seeing this nonsense. So, and at the end of the day, I feel like you should be replaced and fired because nobody needs this in the game of basketball. That don't even make sense. LeBron in the NBA, like, they don't even give LeBron fouls like that. You hear me? But I tell you this, I bet ain't nobody trying to take him out the game. And if anybody trying to take him out the game, they getting kicked out the league indefinitely. And he 40 now. Know what I'm saying? They protected Kobe Bryant. They protected a lot of players. Shaq. You hear me? Like, don't nobody have it. It's not physicality. It is jealousy and racism. That's what it is. Because if it would have been a black athlete doing this, you know what I'm saying? A sister experiencing this. Man, everybody that are Caitlin Clark haters and want to see her down and hurt and injured, it don't even make sense. They'll be ready to do whatever they had to do. You hear me? Cause they see a sister being mistreated. You know what I'm saying? They come on, man. They one sided. They one way. I'm gonna keep it 100 all the way across the board. It don't matter if you're black or white. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Do the right thing, like Spike Lee said. But unfortunately, it's too late. So you can try to cover your tracks or do whatever you want to do. Please let us see you treating my precious CC better. Please do better. She the only reason why a lot of us locked in. People can say Angel Reese or whatever. She cannot hoop. I'm sorry. If anything, she can be a model. I give her that. But far as a basketball player, no. She's not the reason people watch. She's not the reason. I'm sorry. Overall, it's Caitlin Clark, a.k.a. my precious CC. So, if you knew better, you'll do better. At the end of the day, good day.
Let me set the stage for you, because context is everything. On May 22, 2026, the Indiana Fever hosted the Golden State Valkyries at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Caitlin Clark had just returned from a one-game absence due to a back injury. And if you thought she was coming back quiet, you thought wrong. Clark finished that game with 22 points and 9 assists. 22 points and 9 assists in a bounce-back performance after sitting out with a back problem. That's not just elite. That's dominant. Indiana won the game 90-82, and the night should have ended there as a clean Fever victory. But if you've been following the WNBA for the past 2 years, you already know things are never just clean when Caitlin Clark is involved. The flashpoint happened in the third quarter. Clark stepped back and drained one of those deep, audacious logo distance threes, the kind of shot that makes arenas erupt, while Golden State's Tiffany Hayes was standing right there defending her. The moment that ball went through the net, Clark got chest to chest with Hayes and made it very clear she had something to say about it. Clark told her, "Come on, bring it on. Let's go. This is about you and me." Hayes fired back. The two exchanged words before teammates stepped in and play continued. And honestly, as a basketball fan, that part is completely fine with me. I don't have a problem with two competitors going at it on the court. That's been part of basketball forever. That's the energy that makes this game great. You want real competition in women's basketball? That right there is what real competition looks like. Dre's personal opinion. Competition is supposed to be fierce. I actually respect that Clark isn't out here being soft about it. She drills a logo three, she lets you know about it, you talk back, and then you play. That is the game. That has always been the game. The problem isn't what happened on the court. The problem is everything that happened after the final buzzer. Because what started as fire on the hardwood turned into something genuinely dangerous off of it. And the people who run this league did absolutely nothing to address it. Now here is where the story shifts from competitive drama to a genuine institutional failure. After the game, Hayes was making her way toward the post-game press conference area, and a hot mic caught her speaking about Clark, though she didn't use her name explicitly. The words caught on that mic were, "They're never going to start calling the fouls on her. If they did, she would never get to play the game." Now, Clark actually picked up 5 personal fouls in that very game, including both a technical and a flagrant, so Hayes was factually wrong that Clark was being shielded from foul calls. The numbers were right there in the box score for the whole world to see. But that's her opinion, and she's entitled to it. Hot mic moments happen. They're part of the landscape of professional sports. Competitors get heated after losses. Fine. I can live with that. But then came the social media piece. And this is where everything completely unraveled. After the game, Hayes went on Threads and began engaging with fans who were coming hard at Caitlin Clark. In screenshots that circulated and went viral across every platform, Hayes can be seen responding to fans, liking comments, and feeding the energy of the online mob that had decided to make Caitlin Clark their target for the evening. Most of it was the typical trash talk that athletes probably shouldn't engage with, but technically stays within the lines. But then there was one specific interaction that crossed a line that should not be crossed by any professional athlete in any league, at any level, period. A fan on Threads wrote, and I'm going to read this word for word. "Listen, I got some cousins we don't speak about that will ride at dawn upon request. Just let me know." Read that again. I got some cousins we don't speak about that will ride at dawn upon request. That is a vague but completely unmistakable gesture toward physical violence against another human being. It's not an explicit threat with a full name attached. But in the context of an entire conversation that was centered around Tiffany Hayes and her beef with Caitlin Clark, there is no reasonable interpretation of that post that doesn't involve directing harm at Clark specifically. And Hayes' response to it? 2 words and an emoji. That's real, with a laughing face. Dre's personal opinion. I want to be precise here, because I always believe in being precise. Did Tiffany Hayes walk up to Caitlin Clark and threaten her directly? No. Did Hayes write that original post herself? No. Is this the same thing as somebody planning a crime? Obviously not. But here is what I need every single person watching this to understand. When a professional athlete with a public platform and hundreds of thousands of followers responds to a threatening post about another athlete, in any sport, in any league, with "that's real" and a laughing emoji, that is an endorsement. That is a green light. That is a professional sending a signal to her entire audience that this kind of talk is not only acceptable, but funny. And in a world where athletes have been stalked, harassed, and physically hurt by unstable fans, none of this is funny. None of it is just internet banter. It is reckless behavior from someone who should know better. Full stop. Now let's talk about the hypocrisy, because this is where I need you to sit down and think very carefully about what has been happening in this league. Because the contrast here is so stark, so jarring, and so undeniable that it should make every single person watching this genuinely angry. Do you remember May 2025? Do you remember the enormous public announcement the WNBA made about their brand new initiative? They called it the No Space for Hate campaign. The league described it as a platform designed to combat hate and promote respect across all WNBA spaces, including online discourse and in-arena behavior. They said it included enhanced technological features specifically built to detect hateful comments online. They said it included increased security measures across the league. They said it came with league-wide messaging and resources. They put it on banners. They promoted it at press conferences. They made it their identity as an organization going into the season. And then, almost immediately after that campaign launched, the WNBA showed the whole country exactly who that policy was designed to protect, and more importantly, who it was not designed to protect. Because in May of 2025, after a game between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever, allegations surfaced that fans in the stands had directed racist comments toward Chicago Sky forward Angel Reese. And I want to be absolutely clear about something here, because my position on this has always been consistent. If those allegations had been true, that would have been completely and totally wrong. Racism at a sporting event is indefensible. Every player, every person in that building deserves to be safe from that kind of hatred. That is not even a debate. I do not waver on that. But here is what actually happened. The WNBA launched a full formal investigation into the Indiana Fever fanbase. They reviewed audio footage. They reviewed video footage. They interviewed fans, arena staff, and team personnel. They mobilized the entire institutional machinery of the league. And after all of that, after allowing an entire fan base to be publicly characterized as racist in the national media for weeks, the league released a statement saying the investigation had not substantiated the claims. They found nothing, not a single piece of evidence to support the allegations. Senator Jim Banks of Indiana went on record publicly demanding apologies from multiple parties involved for allowing innocent fans to be dragged through the mud without a shred of supporting evidence to justify it. And yet, that investigation happened. The league moved swiftly. The league mobilized loudly. The league treated the allegations as credible and demonstrated very clearly that when it wanted to act fast, it absolutely had the infrastructure, the willingness, and the institutional muscle to do exactly that. Fast forward to May 2026. A professional WNBA player, not a fan in the stands, not an anonymous account hiding behind a username, but an actual employee of the league, responds to a post containing threatening language aimed at the league's most famous player by typing, "That's real," with a laughing emoji. The screenshots go viral immediately. Every sports media outlet in the country covers it. And the league? Silent. No statement, no investigation announcement, no commissioner press conference, no fine call, nothing. The league did not immediately respond when asked directly whether it was even aware of Hayes' social media activity or whether it planned to review it. Let me ask you a very direct question, and I want you to sit with this one because it matters. If the roles were completely reversed, and I mean exactly reversed, what would have happened? Imagine for a second that after a loss, Caitlin Clark goes on social media and starts engaging with fans who are going at another player in the league. And in the mix of those comments, one fan posts something vague but threatening toward that player, and then Caitlin Clark types, "That's real," with a laughing emoji. What do you think happens next morning? Do you think the league stays silent? Do you think the commissioner's office doesn't immediately respond? Or do you think the same institutional machinery that launched a full formal investigation over fan noise that was never even confirmed, do you think that same machine fires up immediately, loudly, and with full force?